Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and challenging aspects of military aviation, why landing on an aircraft carrier is considered the toughest job in aviation. It's a maneuver that combines precision, skill, and nerves of steel. Imagine trying to land a high-speed jet on a moving platform barely the size of a few tennis courts, surrounded by ocean waves, and with almost no room for error. That's the reality for naval aviators every time they return from a mission or training flight. It's one of the most dangerous and demanding operations in all of aviation, and today, we're going to break down exactly why. Let's start with the basic challenge, the size of the landing area. A modern aircraft carrier might look huge from a distance, but to a pilot coming in at 150 miles per hour, it's terrifyingly small. The flight deck of an aircraft carrier is roughly 500 to 700 feet long, which might sound like a lot until you realize a commercial runway is often more than 10,000 feet long. That's a difference of nearly 20 times. Now, imagine that runway not only being incredibly short, but also pitching, rolling, and moving forward at about 30 knots because the carrier itself is traveling through the ocean. Landing on that tiny moving strip of steel feels like trying to park a speeding car onto a postage stamp that's floating and shifting constantly. The second major challenge is visibility and weather. Carriers operate in every condition imaginable, day or night, calm or stormy seas, rain, fog, and high winds. Pilots often have to land in near total darkness. Relying solely on their instruments and the guidance of the landing signal officer, known as the LSO. During night operations, the flight deck is kept as dark as possible for safety and to avoid detection by enemy forces. So pilots approach a dimly lit deck that's moving unpredictably beneath them. The only real visual cues they have are a few lights, a faint horizon, and the meatball, a glowing light system that helps them maintain the correct glide path. One small miscalculation, too low or too high, and the result could be catastrophic. Another reason carrier landings are so difficult is the arresting gear system. Unlike conventional runways where planes gradually slow down using brakes, carrier-based aircraft have to stop almost instantly. To make this possible, the deck has several arresting wires stretched across it, and the pilot must catch one of these cables with the plane's tailhook. If they miss, the pilot has to immediately throttle up and take off again in a maneuver called a bolter. The goal is to catch the third wire. It's considered the perfect landing point. Hitting too early or too late can damage the aircraft or even lead to going overboard. The margin for error is razor thin, and while the pilot is doing all this, they're also dealing with the psychological pressure of knowing that one wrong move could destroy a multi-million-dollar jet, damage the carrier deck, or even cost lives. Every landing requires absolute focus, composure, and split-second decision-making. It's a test of both mental and physical endurance. Pilots are trained rigorously for years before they're even allowed to attempt carrier landings on their own. Training begins on land with simulations and practice on mock carrier decks. The Navy uses airfields with arresting gear installed so that pilots can get a feel for carrier-style landings before attempting the real thing. Even then, nothing truly prepares them for the actual experience at sea. The sensation of landing on a pitching deck, the sudden deceleration from 150 to 0 miles per hour in just 2 seconds, and the sheer force of the impact. All of it is far more intense than any simulator can replicate. Pilots often describe their first successful carrier landing as one of the most exhilarating and terrifying moments of their careers. But what makes carrier operations even more incredible is how precise and coordinated the entire process must be. Dozens of crew members are working simultaneously to make sure each landing is safe. The flight deck crew guides aircraft into position, maintains the arresting wires, and clears the deck between each landing, all while dealing with roaring engines, scorching jet exhaust, and powerful crosswinds. The LSO communicates constantly with the pilot, giving real-time feedback and instructions. It's teamwork at the highest possible level, where even the smallest mistake could have massive consequences. Technology also plays a vital role in improving the safety of carrier landings, but it hasn't made the job any less demanding. Modern systems like the optical landing system and the precision landing mode assist pilots with guidance and stability, Yet human skill and judgment remain at the heart of every landing. Even the most advanced computers can't predict every movement of the ocean or every gust of wind. That's why naval aviators are still trained to trust their instincts and make rapid adjustments in real time. To understand the difficulty of carrier landings, you also have to consider the sheer physical stress on both the pilot and the aircraft. When the plane's tailhook catches the wire, the deceleration forces can exceed 4 times the force of gravity. The sudden stop can jolt the pilot forward with enormous force, and the aircraft's structure must be specially reinforced to handle this punishment. Carrier-based planes like the F/A-18 Super Hornet or the F-35C are designed with stronger landing gear and tailhooks for this reason. The airframe and arresting hook mechanism take tremendous stress every single time. At the same time, the pilot has to stay calm and controlled during the entire process. They're managing throttle, angle of attack, and alignment all at once. If the approach is too high, the tailhook may miss the wires. Too low, and the aircraft could slam into the ramp at the back of the carrier. The goal is to maintain the perfect glide slope, a delicate balance between speed and descent rate that must be held steady until the exact moment of touchdown. Achieving that under such extreme conditions requires incredible precision and constant practice. The respect that naval aviators earn from their peers is immense, because every successful carrier landing represents mastery over one of the most unforgiving environments in aviation. There's a saying among Navy pilots, "Every landing is a controlled crash." It's not far from the truth. The landing isn't smooth, it's hard, abrupt, and violent. But that's exactly how it's supposed to be. The aircraft is designed to withstand that impact, and the pilot's training ensures they can bring it down safely every single time. There's also the psychological toll to consider. Knowing that every approach carries real danger keeps pilots sharp, but it also creates enormous pressure. Fatigue, bad weather, or even a small lapse in concentration can lead to disaster. That's why carrier pilots undergo constant evaluation, rigorous check flights, and physical fitness tests. The Navy demands absolute discipline and mental toughness because there's simply no room for error. Ultimately, landing on an aircraft carrier is the toughest job in aviation because it pushes the limits of both human skill and machine capability. It's not just about flying. It's about mastering the art of control under the most unpredictable conditions imaginable. Every time a naval aviator brings their jet safely onto the deck, they're accomplishing something that only a handful of pilots in the world are trained and capable enough to do. It's a breathtaking combination of precision, courage, and teamwork that defines naval aviation. So the next time you see footage of a fighter jet catching the arresting wire on a carrier deck, remember that what you're witnessing is more than just a landing. It's the result of years of training, coordination, and raw determination. These pilots risk everything to perfect their craft, and their skill represents the pinnacle of aviation excellence. Landing on an aircraft carrier isn't just flying. It's conquering one of the most difficult challenges in the entire world of aviation.